Hello and welcome to episode 157 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, Summer Games Fest is here, and so are so many game announcements. Also, Nintendo Switch 2 has released, and one of us has been playing it. But before we get to all that, let's introduce our hosts as we always do. My name is Klein Felt, and alongside me today are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, it is the digital art daredevil himself, Tom Drew. Tom, what's going on? If a little peek behind the curtain, if you are listening to this at some point in the future, this is the second time we've talked today. This is our second
Yeah.
podcast of the day, really, technically. But how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to be in the swing of Summer Games Fest headlines and announcements and stuff. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good after like all these things to get excited about. I'm just ready to talk about all these games because, you know, we'll talk about like the showcases themselves, but there are a lot of games here that I'm like, I really am excited to play them. So, yeah.
It was a weekend of ups and downs, and I think we ended on a high, which is very good. Lauren, our Australian abroad, Canadian in training journalist extraordinaire, Lauren Rouse. How are you feeling? What's going on? You're a little not under the weather, but you were out enjoying yourself last night, and so the voice is not 100% there.
Oh, to be fair, I've had this all week. It wasn't just because I went out last night, but yeah, voice is a little croaky today. Sorry to all the listeners. This is an audio medium, so it probably doesn't sound very good. But bear with me because I'm here because I must talk about everything that's happened this week.
Yeah, it was a big week, so we will get right into it today. It will be a news-centric show. We are going to be doing a SGF headlines draft. So we'll start with the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us the news jingle.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
Yes, and in case you didn't know if you're living under a rock, maybe we are your source of gaming news. Thank you, if that's the case. It is Summer Games Fest season. What used to be E3 has now become Summer Games Fest, basically video game Christmas. The gaming industry gets together this month, this weekend of the month, usually early June, and has their showcases, debuts, all their wares, hardware, new game announcements, all sorts of fun things. It was a little bit of a toned down SGF this year. We didn't have a Nintendo Direct, at least yet. That could still come. Ubisoft wasn't here doing their thing, Ubisoft Forward. This is the first year since they started those that they haven't had one, even when they haven't really had anything to announce. They've had one of those events. Didn't have one this year. Electronic Arts, EA Play didn't happen. It was just PlayStation with the State of Play, a whole lot of smaller showcases. I know I need to go back and watch like the Wholesome Games Direct was yesterday at the time of recording, which is always a fun one because it's just adorable, just wholesome games. We then had Summer Games Fest, which is Jeff Keighley's big kickoff event with various trailer announcements. And we ended it with the Xbox game showcase for 2025. I want to know, guys, before we get into what we're going to be doing, which is our headline draft, as we usually do, general thoughts of the weekend, takeaways. What are we feeling coming out of this thing? And maybe was there a showcase that you loved the most? Something, the showcase you didn't really gel with you as much? Lauren, how are you feeling about SGF 2025?
I think overall it's been a good week, but it hasn't been like a great week. I think every time we do these things, we make predictions, we get excited, we're usually disappointed, which is a shame. But it's just that we know that there are so many good things in the works that we just wanted to see more of. And so it's kind of a shame not to see some of those here. Just to get an update that, they're happening or what the status is. So yeah, it's been enjoyable. There's definitely a lot of new games that I now have an eye on that I didn't before. Definitely a lot of things coming out in 2026 seems to be the vibe. Like we're not really going too far beyond that in terms of games that we're showing beyond 2025 and 2026. I think there's a few without release dates. But yeah, I think it's exciting to see that there are a lot of things happening in the industry right now, a lot of things to be excited about. I mean, I already don't have enough time to play the games that are out, so seeing what's coming up makes me nervous.
Yeah, I think it was definitely, there were some peaks and valleys. I think every showcase that we watched, and you can go back on YouTube, we did some live reactions to some of them. Every one of them had something where it was like, okay, I'm interested in this, but it definitely was not the height of heights that we have seen with these sort of showcases in the past. Tom, are you feeling about the same? Did you have a particular showcase that you think was your favorite, and how are you going to remember 2025's Summer Games Fest festivities?
Yeah, I think I feel similar to you guys. I think yeah, Lauren put it best in that like 2026 is going to be one to look forward to because like a lot of the stuff was for next year, which is exciting. I mean, it seems like 2026 is going to be the next like 2023 where there were just like so many like good games coming out. Especially we have GTA 6 on the horizon, so that's already like a massive game, and then there's presumably going to be like a whole other slew of games surrounding that. But yeah, I think the showcase as a whole, I think were like decent. I think the Xbox One, I definitely came off like feeling the highest on just in terms of like how it was put together, the kind of quantity of and quality of game announcements. I thought was kind of superior to the other ones. Looking back, it's interesting because I feel like with the State of Play and Summer Games Fest, I like listed out all the games I was interested in from all the shows. And like I was surprised how much I did write from Summer Games Fest's like showcase, even though I did feel kind of like deflated after that. I think it is just kind of a format thing where I felt like there just wasn't.
It was paced funny. There was like
Yeah,
it felt slow.
yeah, and I think like while I guess maybe the state of play, just the highs were a bit higher than Summer Games Fest, and maybe that's why I was feeling that way. But no, I think like in general, the fact that I'm coming away from this weekend with like this whole list of games that I'm like really itching to play, I think is obviously like it's a great thing. But yeah, I was hoping for like just a little what one more thing, and you're always like, oh, this could you have one more, please, one more
Yeah.
announcement. But um, I think like on the whole, I think it was a good showcase overall from all these three.
Yeah, I think coming out of the weekend, there was I'm not gonna say no, like holy, oh my gosh, my mind is blown announcements, but I do feel like we usually get at least one or two more. There were definitely some things here that took all of us by surprise, but not. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to look back and looking back with rose-colored glasses. Usually, I feel like we come out of this with like two or three instead of just one or two sort of things that kind of blew our mind when they showed up for the first time. I'm going to ask the two of you, what would you grade this? If you were a teacher at school and you had to give Summer Games Fest 2025 a report card, what sort of letter grade are you giving this thing?
I'd probably give it like a B, like a solid B, just across
Mm-hmm.
the board.
It's
Yeah,
a group project where it's a group project where one student did the carrying.
yeah,
To be completely
pretty
honest with
much.
everyone, the other
Yeah.
people did stuff, but one of them was very just they knew how to present it. They knew how to get up in front of everyone. They did the poster board. They had the sparkles out last minute, and they made it look nice by the end. It was not looking good heading into today, Sunday.
I'd probably go lower. It's like a C plus or a B minus for me. And it's again like these things are always subjective. There are probably announcements in these showcases that people are like, "That's my thing. I am so hyped for this, and I'm happy for them." But like from my point of view, I was kind of like, just I didn't leave feeling like super hyped about anything. That being said, I was writing down like Tom games that I was interested in. I've got like a full kind of, I don't know, like 15 names here. So it's not like there weren't things to be excited about. It's just that, yeah, there was just not the one thing that was like, that's my day one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Lauren. I think I'm also I think a C plus, maybe even a C. I've seen better. I think Xbox continues to be the highlight of these Summer Games Fest weekends. They know how to pace a showcase. Even if not every game is for me, it's just so bang, bang, bang. We're gonna stomp down and talk for a second and then bang, game, 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 right until the end. And yeah, it's annoying to hear the world premiere thing before every new game or see that Xbox Game Pass logo at the end of every trailer. But like they know what they've got, especially with the Game Pass stuff. And so if that is the way we're gonna get these cool games, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. So I think yeah, I'm probably a C plus. I think before we get into our headlines draft, we should look back. Last week here on the podcast, we did a Summer Games Fest prediction list as we usually do. And you know what? We had an off year. Okay. Usually we knock these out of the park. We get every single one of them right. And we don't ever have to worry about looking back and reviewing them. But we thought we would today because I think we did quite terribly. Last week, we each predicted 4 things that would happen this weekend. Let's go through them now and see if we got any of them right. We'll start with my 4 predictions. We'll then go to Tom, and then we'll finish with Lauren. My 4 predictions were, number 1, we would see James Bond, which was revealed beforehand, and it is announced that Raoul Coley is James Bond. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Don't get any points there. Next up, Toys for Bob making a new game. It's announced, and it's Spyro. Toys for Bob is making a new game. They just haven't announced it yet. Number 3, Xbox handheld has been sidelined, so we did end up seeing the ROG handheld, but I mean like their in-house handheld. And Xbox teases the next-gen console coming 2027. That didn't happen. I thought it was going to happen. It didn't. And then lastly, Uncharted is announced. It's Naughty Dog's secret next game. It didn't happen. So I'm 0 for 4. Sucks to suck. It is what it is. Tom, what'd you get?
Oh, let me just pull it up here quickly.
Do you want me to I have them all up if you want.
Okay, you can go.
Okay.
You can go. Yeah, do it.
Your first prediction was Marathon is not going to be shown at all. Ding, ding, ding. We have
Yes.
a winner.
Hey, a point.
We got one.
1 point.
Yay, don't get too excited, Tom. Next up, Blade is shown off with gameplay. I'm sorry.
We got one vampire game at the Xbox. Is that a half?
Yeah, but not the one you wanted.
Come on.
Next up,
No, that got me
Mario
so
Movie
excited
2
too.
casting announced. Nintendo Direct. That still could happen.
Yeah,
we haven't had
it's
a
possible.
Nintendo Direct yet, so we'll leave that one in the air. And then the last thing is we're going to see something with the next Tomb Raider.
Damn. Where is that game? Where is that game? That's like
For a
so
second,
crazy.
that Plague's Tale game that they were showing, I was like, oh, is this like a new, like, are we going like ancient archaeologist? But no.
Wasn't meant to be.
Or 1 for 4, so you got one.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'll take that.
And lastly, Lauren, your predictions. Number
All right.
1.
I
Do you
have
want to
them.
read them? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I had predicted heavily that Hollow Knight Silk Song would be showed off at the Xbox Showcase with a release date. Now, technically, it was there.
And I
It
will
was-
say,
And there was a release year.
Yeah, the Xbox Ally is releasing in
It will
holiday
be
2025.
available
At
by
launch.
the time, by that comes out.
So I'd say that's correct. I think you get a point there, honestly.
It's not what I was entirely.
Yeah,
predicting.
Yeah.
It is
the win,
actually.
you know?
I didn't even think about it coming off. We were so high coming off of the Xbox showcase. We'd seen Phil Spencer's face. We'd seen all this stuff happen. I kind of forgot that they didn't give us a Hollow Knight trailer because they teed it up and we didn't get it.
Yeah. But the fact that they did say it's coming this year is a kind of a big deal because then you know that it's coming soon. Like they're going to have to show it soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And it will be
You know,
day
I'm
one
gonna say-
Game
I'm gonna
Pass,
take it.
and it will be there at launch of the ROG Ally. So if we get that new Xbox Ally handheld, if we get its release date coming soon, then we're
we
going to
know.
know at least when it will be out by.
Yeah.
So do I get like half point? I don't know.
I'd give you half a point.
Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
Great. Probably because I'm not going to get any others. So number 2 is Wolverine was shown off with the 2025 release date. Absolutely not. Did not happen. Among Us animated TV show gets a new trailer with a release date. I thought this would have been something, but we actually didn't really see anything from video game adaptations at the whole showcase, which was kind of surprising. Even like Xbox, I thought might have something for Fallout, but they kind of
sounded
mentioned
like they were
it.
teeing it up at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then nothing. So that's a no. And then Fable 4 gameplay shown and when it's coming out. Technically, they did say it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
They did say 2026 for Xbox's 25th anniversary.
They didn't
So,
show
but I
anything,
did think
though.
they would have more of a presence for that game, but they didn't. So I'm like half a point out of 4.
So congratulations, Tom. You win this year's Summer Games Fest predictions game with a total of 1 out of 4 total points.
We
got
those.
1.5 out of
those.
12. I think that we may need to rethink some things
Yeah.
going
We know
forward.
nothing about the game industry, actually.
Apparently not. But that's okay. I do think it was more of a subdued Summer Games Fest than usual, so I think that a lot of people's predictions will not be coming true. Let's go through our draft. Let's do it. Let's pick some Summer Games Fest headlines from all of the showcases here. We will start, I think, with Tom, because Tom, you won. So you deserve winning something. And then go to Lauren, and then go to me. We won't do a snake. We'll just go around here because with the headlines, it is I think
Yeah.
it's a little less gamey with like when we're drafting news stuff. So take it away, Tom. What was the biggest headline, the biggest news, the biggest announcement, the biggest trailer, biggest nugget of any information we got from this
Yeah,
past week?
I think I have to go with a game that I just didn't expect at all, and I could never have like conceived happening. And it was from the state of play. It was the final thing they showed. Marvel took on Fighting Souls. This game looks amazing. If you haven't seen the showcase or the trailer or whatever, it's basically kind of a return to the Marvel versus Capcom fighting style, but it's just Marvel focused. So it's like a tag team fighter. They showcase a bunch of characters in this kind of hyper anime art style. So you have like Captain America there, Iron Man, Ms. Marvel, Ghost Rider, all fighting alongside one another. You can call upon allies and have them do attacks, and I just think it's such a unique collaboration. This isn't like a PlayStation like owned thing, because this is from the developers of Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. I'm forgetting the name of them right now, but
Arc System
uh,
Works.
Arc System Works. Thank you. Um, and I just think it's such a cool collaboration that they were able to make this happen. I think we were talking about showcases a lot of the time. Like we see a lot of the same sorts of games. Like we see a lot of, especially with the Summer Games Fest one, a lot of Souls likes, and then a lot of like free to play stuff. But it's just nice to see kind of a diversifying of the portfolio, especially with PlayStation. I feel like they tend to like have a lot of samey sort of games. So to have like a fighting game like kind of not directly under their banner, but like adjacent to it, I think is like a really cool move. And the game just looks sick. Like I'm obviously coming off of like major Marvel rivals like Obsession, and also having a love for Street Fighter 6 last year. Um, so I dig this. I'm really excited to see where this goes and what characters they add into it. So yeah, this is probably my biggest announcement from the whole weekend.
I'm almost as excited to play it as I am to experience the marketing campaign for this game heading into it. Like the
Yeah.
lead up to launch is going to be so fun. Every state of play we get, every few months, we're probably going to get new character trailer where they're going to reveal some exciting Marvel character, and everyone's going to, even people who won't play the game will sit back and go like, oh my gosh, like look at the moves, look at this Easter egg and this specific call out. People are already doing that with the like debut trailer. This was my number one as well. I think that this is such a cool partnership, and it feels like in the same way that IO making a James Bond game, it feels like a perfect match made in heaven. Oh my god, I'm dreaming, like IP to developer. It sounds like something we'd pitch on this podcast, honestly. So it's going to be so cool when it does finally get here, and I'm so excited to see what it looks like as like we move along this marketing campaign and promotional cycle.
This game is absolutely not my thing, but it does look great, and I think it is a great partnership, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened before this. But I guess Marvel is on such not it's not like it's the highest it's ever been, but like with the success of Rivals and like all the branching out of the IP with like Spider-Man, Blade, and other things, it makes sense that they would maybe want to do their version of like a Smash Marvel game or something like that. So I'm excited to see how it goes, and I am excited to see like what new characters they add, what kind of levels they add, if there is much of a story behind it, and how that all works together.
Yeah, this is what I kind of would have wished for like the Star Wars IP like to happen. Obviously, like EA got the exclusive rights to like Star Wars, so they were just developing games like Battlefront 2 and then the Jedi games, and then like some other ones like the that I can't remember what it's called, but the Star Wars like pilot kind of simulator essentially.
Squadrons.
Squadrons,
Mm.
yeah. But I wish they, just done like some crazy stuff with the Star Wars licensing gaming. Like they've done a fighting game in Star Wars before. Maybe they could have done another Star Wars fighting game. I don't know, but
Maybe they
but
will.
it's just nice. Maybe they will now that it seems like they're diversifying it a bit. But I just think it's cool that Marvel seems to be happy that like, okay, we'll just give this to. We'll do like a Rivals. We'll do a fighting game. We'll do like a beat 'em up game with that Cosmic Invasion, I think it's called.
Yep.
So and obviously like the Insomniac stuff, which we also love as well. So it's cool to see the IPs just not kind of sitting on the sidelines. Yeah, just like it.
Okay, Lauren, your first headline.
Yeah, so my game of the show or of the week that we've had so far is probably not one I never saw it coming. I don't know if you guys saw it coming, but it's Lego Voyages, which is
Yeah.
a lovely little co-op game that's coming from the Lego team. I can't remember what the studio is. Um, and you basically play as little bricks of Lego and go around the world building things, helping each other out, like putting pieces of Lego together in this delightful animated world. And the music was such a vibe in the trailer. It just feels so cozy and peaceful. And having like played a lot of like It Takes Two and Split Fiction recently, it is kind of like those co-op games are kind of what I'm looking for now. I want to have games that I can play with friends and just have a nice time with. So for that now I was like, this is perfect. This fits the bill. And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see it. It's coming from Annapurna Interactive as well as
Yeah.
Light Brick Studio, which is the team behind Lego Builder's Journey, I think is what it was called. It came out a couple of years ago. And from what I've been told, it is the first Lego game that will make you cry. Lego Builder's Journey. So I think that Voyagers could very well have that potential as well. I love how real this looks. Just like the way the light is hitting the bricks and stuff, it looks like a table of Lego come to life. Tom, you are Mr. Lego, so you are, I'm sure, itching to play this with Lauren.
Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube version of the podcast, you can see a bunch of Lego behind me, and there's a lot off screen as well. Similar to what I was saying with like the Marvel license, it's cool that Lego's just like, we're just gonna do like a bunch of different types of games, like, and Voyages looks like it's gonna fulfill on that too. It reminds me of kind of like a snipper clips or like a takes two or whatever, like where is this kind of co-op thing, and it just looks super creative, like the way you kind of build out like platforms and solve puzzles and stuff. Looks really unique. Um, yeah, I think this is what like Lego needed in the gaming space, just something completely out there that you wouldn't like expect. But it just looks super charming and super fun. So yeah, I'm definitely down to give this a try. Like it looks super fun. I think this is definitely one of my big highlights from the Summer Games Fest showcase as well.
I think we're starting to see the like haze light effect hit the gaming industry a little bit with like, I mean, not Split Fiction because that is so new, but It Takes Two being such a hit that it was. And this game, along with a few other games that we saw throughout the weekend, is very much like, oh, not everybody, a lot of developers are looking at what they're doing and going, oh, we could do that. Like we can do this two-person co-op experience and tell an interesting story in that.
Yeah, and what I also liked about it is that it's not relying on IP. It's not like you're
Mhm.
playing as this character from this big franchise or something, which like Lego does a lot of those games, like the Harry Potter's, Indiana Jones, like Marvels and all that. But it was like I liked that they didn't care about any of that. It's just that you were playing as Lego, as the little bricks themselves. And it's still recognizably Lego because you're like, oh, these pieces fit together and I can build something like this and I can make it do this. But it's not relying on, at least from what we've seen, it's not relying on IP.
Okay, we will jump to me. And I think I'm going to take from the State of Play. My top two was from the State of Play, which seems crazy to me coming off of the Xbox showcase because that was the strongest showcase for me. But this one was just, I was so surprised when it happened. I'm so excited that's happening. It's Luminous Arise getting announced. This is coming from the Tetris Effect team. This trailer, when it started, we all were like, wait a second, what's going on? Because the music immediately was very Tetris Effect-y. I love Tetris Effect. We reviewed it here on the podcast. It's such a perfect melding of like music and gameplay and like feeling all together. And it creates this like Zen-like state that it's almost like feels like I don't know, like a religious experience where you're sitting there with headphones on and the music's blasting, you're dropping these bricks. And the fact that they're doing it to Luminous now, which I actually prefer to Tetris, is awesome. It's so cool. So I think this is one of my most anticipated games right now. I think it might be coming out this year, which is very exciting. So yeah, Luminous Arise, PS5, PSVR 2, and Steam. Give it to me as soon as you can.
Yeah, I'm just a huge Tetris person. I've never tried Luminous, but like from that like trailer, the fact that it feels like a kind of spiritual successor to Tetris Effect, like I'm all over this. I'll definitely try it out. Because yeah, like the way it kind of switches up that kind of block based formula. Looks really fun, and just the visuals and everything together in this thing like looks awesome. So yeah, I was pretty impressed by this. And I like it, yeah, like an unexpected thing like to open the showcase with, or the state of play with. But yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah, similarly, I really was surprised by how much I enjoyed Tetris Effect. Like, I like Tetris. It's hard to like iterate on that formula very much, but the fact that they added music and visuals the way they did was really what elevated it. I think we played it, what, 2 years ago as one of our new game
Yeah,
pluses.
Yeah,
I
wow.
guess so.
And it was great. So I'm excited to see them do it again. And even if I don't end up playing, I'm definitely downloading the soundtrack. I know they put that on Spotify and music streaming afterwards. So very excited to hear what they come up with.
Tom, let's take it to your second headline.
Ooh, okay. Where do I want to go from here? I think I will say I'm gonna go for the Summer Games Fest showcase. Arguably the biggest game there, Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
Thought you would.
Yeah, I want to talk about this for two reasons. One, because I'm excited about more Resident Evil. I'm a relative newcomer to the franchise, but every game I've played so far, I've just loved. So I've been very like anxious to see what they have cooking in the background. And the trailer looks super like different to what we've kind of experienced with the franchise up to this point. Like it feels a lot more Silent Hill and a lot more psychological. So I'm just interested to see what they do with that kind of approach to nine. Um, yeah, I just think that the whole vibe of it, we obviously didn't get like much of like the gameplay or anything like that, but I'm really digging where the direction they're going with through this game. It's crazy to me that like Capcom had like what 3 games across these showcases here. They just seem to churn out stuff like super quick, like Resident Evil 9, Pragmata, and then there was one other one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. But yeah, it's just super impressive to see. Onimusha, that was the third one, and I think they all look great. But it was a confusing way to announce this. I saw a lot of people online being like that they actually kind of liked the way. If you weren't aware, if you didn't watch the state of not state of play, the Summer Games Fest showcase, what they did with this announcement was that they kind of uh, announced that like, hey guys, next year Resident Evil 30th anniversary, more information on 9 coming soon, as kind of like a fake out, and then by the end of the show they actually announced Resident Evil 9. So they're kind of playing with your expectations. I think a lot of people like that, but for us at least, I felt like it was kind of like a wait, what? Why why are we doing this like kind of strange? I think, at least personally, I think if they just ended with 9, it would have felt a bit more streamlined. But do you guys have any thoughts about that, or just like the Summer Games Fest as a whole?
Didn't love the 3-part reveal.
No.
I think if
Yeah,
they'd had one more thing after RE9, I wouldn't have cared as much. Just that was the big reveal of the show, and then they decided to like foreshadow it so often.
yeah,
It was kind of frustrating because then it didn't really feel like a big reveal, because it's like, okay, we know this is coming. Yes, we know it's coming. Okay, we know it's coming now. So yeah, and then it's also been heavily rumored forever. So it was kind of just more of like a confirmation rather than like a big wow, like, whoa, we didn't even know this was happening, versus something like, which I don't think we're bringing up today, but like Call of Duty 7, like that was surprising when we're like, what is this? And then at least it was a surprise when the title came up. So we did, of course, watch the trailer, all three of us. You can see our reactions being like, we have no idea what this is, because we didn't think it would be Resident Evil 9 because they'd
yeah.
already teased it so often. But yeah, the game does look good as far as Resident Evil games go. I'm not playing, but it does look good.
I thought this decision was confounding, honestly. Doing the sale advertisement earlier in the showcase, I think was fine. That's totally okay. Get paid, Jeff. I understand. But it was the 30th anniversary segment with the interview with the creator where it wasn't just like we cut to him. We had this amazing like montage trailer where they're going through all these moments from the series past. And I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. I love it when we kind of look back and do this retrospective sort of trailer deal. And so when it was happening, I thought, oh, cool. This is how they do it. we're going to cut to him and he's going to say, "Welcome to the world of Resident Evil 9." And we're going to get a trailer. And then we didn't. And we all kind of sat there and thought, what the heck is happening? And then we ultimately did at the end of the showcase. It just felt, it kind of embodied that whole showcase for me, where the whole thing just felt weirdly paced. And you didn't know what was an ad and what wasn't. And then, yeah, we get to the end. And I think in a vacuum, RE9 looks awesome. I think, Tom, you're going to have so much fun with it. From what I hear from Resident Evil fans, this is what they've maybe not always wanted, but hearing about it for the first time are very excited about, in that it takes place in Raccoon City, which is the same place that like RE2 takes place, but it comes after they nuke it at one point in the franchise, which sounds neat. And there are rumors, I don't know if you've seen this, Tom, that Leon Kennedy is the main character, which is really cool because he's, for a lot of people, he is Resident Evil. So I think it's going to be awesome. Just the way they announced it for me was utterly bizarre.
Yeah, it was a strange decision. Yeah, if Leon is in the game, like you mentioned, if that rumor is true, that'd be sick. It'd be nice to see. A lot of people call him Baby Girl for some reason, but it'd be nice to see Baby Girl, I guess. But yeah, yeah,
he'd
I'm
be like
hyped.
an elderly Baby Girl, though, right? Like he'd be like,
yeah, he'd be older now,
I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, interested to see how the internet takes that one.
Okay, Lauren, your second headline.
All right. The next one I want to talk about is, something we knew would be here, but it was great to finally see it. It was 007 First Light. This does genuinely look very fun, and is, like we kind of alluded to earlier, like it is like a perfect blending of the studio and the IP, and that, like, they've made Hitman. They announced also a crossover between Hitman and Bond, with like having Mads Mikkelsen's villain come back into Hitman, which is kind of cool. So I wonder if we'll see that go the other way somehow when First Light comes out. But yeah, we finally got to see some footage from it. I don't think it was gameplay footage. I can't even remember if there was gameplay footage.
I think there was some gameplay
I think there's
in there.
Little hints. Yeah.
There was? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, like it's an earlier, it's like Bond in his early years, like training years kind of, which I think is smart, because it would be kind of silly if you as the player are supposed to be super competent as Bond and then have no training. So I like that. I like that we're seeing him in his early years, and that's kind of how they're skirting around the big issues with like the stories in the movies and things like that. It is like a generic white guy being James Bond, which is cool. I know they haven't, not cool. It's not as exciting as we had hoped. But they didn't announce who it is, but I've seen many people online speculate that it's Patrick Gibson, which, looking at it, I can agree. I've interviewed the guy before. It looks a lot like him. And it sounds a lot like him. So I hope that they do confirm or deny that at some point, just so that we know who he is. But yeah, I will be playing for sure. From seeing this, it caught my attention.
I thought this looked fantastic. It was one of my highlights of the weekend as well. I knew heading in it was going to be my bag, because just I like that James Bond world. I like super spy stuff, and IO is such an incredibly talented studio and the perfect studio to take on a franchise like this. But I don't know 100% what I was expecting coming into seeing gameplay or seeing this world for the first time. And coming out, I was thinking, man, this looks a lot more action heavy than I thought it was going to, which makes sense. I mean, it is James Bond, but there are definitely still some IO sensibilities. I think we've only started to see kind of the creative possibilities that they will hide in this world. And yeah, it's probably going to feel a little more Uncharted than Hitman, but there will still be those moments to express yourself as a player and take out someone with a banana if that's what you want to do. So I'm itching to play this game, especially as somebody who has been like wanting to fill that action-packed thrill ride Uncharted void that's been in my heart since Lost Legacy came out. Oh man, more than, I guess, almost a decade ago. So I am ready for when this, I guess it's next year. So it's going to be awesome when it does finally hit our PlayStations and Xboxes and Nintendo Switch 2s, I guess.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I think this
it was at the Switch 2 reveal, so it
has
to come to
of
Switch
course
2.
It will be. Yeah, of course. So that's gonna be crazy to see this thing possibly. But yeah, I think this trailer presented it so well. They've kind of come out and said like it will be similar to Hitman, where it's like you can approach missions differently, whether it's like stealth or guns blazing, which I think is like a really good move. And then like adding that creativity is going to add so much like replayability to a lot of these things. And yeah, I just love the the tone of the whole thing. When we were talking about it like before, the full reveal, Klein, you mentioned it's kind of like a like like the idea of like an Arkhamization of like the Bond franchise, and I feel like this is kind of what that is. It's kind of like taking some of those elements, like especially the goofiest stuff, like the gadgets and all those sorts of things, but kind of modernizes it into this like blend of a tone that I think just feels super fresh in terms of a take on Bond. And I'm just really excited to see this kind of incarnation. Yeah, I don't know if it was just me, but like I kind of got like Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise vibes from this Bond as
Oh
well.
yeah.
So
Mm,
it's almost like
yeah.
a gonna live out like an a Mission Impossible sort of thing as well. I'm sure it's got like spy adjacent. So yeah, I'm so into this. Like I was excited about this game before, but just seeing this trailer has me even more amped. And the fact that like I feel like this game is it's not coming out this year, but I feel like it is gonna be pretty soon in 2026. Gets me really excited. I can't wait to play it.
Surprised we didn't see more of it, because we see it at State of Play, they show it off, they talk about it again at Summer Games Fest, and then before that they announced, hey, we're doing an IO Interactive showcase. And so that came on after SGF, and they didn't really show much more of the game there. It was more of like a sit down interview. I thought for sure if you're going to do your own showcase, we were going to get like a mission walkthrough or
Mm.
something like that. But we didn't really. So this was really it for now. We'll have to wait. Maybe we'll get more. I guess we have Gamescom in August, so could see more there. But I think, yeah, James Bond. We'll all play it when it does eventually see the light of day. My second headline, I can't believe it. We're like, I guess more than halfway done here, and we haven't mentioned an Xbox announcement. So I'm going to pull something from the Xbox showcase. Persona 4 Remake. I guess it's called Persona 4 Revival, finally got revealed. There was rumors about, is it happening? Isn't it happening? The voice cast was mysteriously coming out over the last couple of weeks saying, I'm not in Persona 4 Remake or Remastered. And they were all doing it in the exact same order that you meet them in the game. And some people are thinking, wait, are they actually not in it? What's happening? I think it's because they were being clever and it's called Persona 4 Revival, not Persona 4 Remake. It looks insane. Like seeing some of those environmental shots that I played on my PlayStation Vita, which was a remaster of the PS2 game, and there are all these like very static backgrounds, very flat feeling backgrounds that you're a 3D character walking on. This is what I want. I love Persona 5. I haven't played Persona 3, but for me, Persona 4 was my first Persona, and I am just over the moon at the way that this looks. This is exactly what I want as a fan. I'm interested to see if they make any major story changes, because there were some very like problematic things in Persona 4 in the original. So we'll see what happens there. But just like from a reimagining of this game standpoint, seeing it playing for the first time, we just got little bits of gameplay there, but seeing your main character like walking down that rural Japanese street, I was just like, this looks incredible. Like this is not the Vita game I played over a decade ago.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that like it took quite a while for Persona fans to get Persona 4 Golden, like to get that game re-released and like more widely available. And now like we've gone from that to like a full-blown remake. I think that's just really cool.
And it's
Like
gonna be
I
on
haven't
Game Pass.
which
It's
yeah, that's
awesome.
insane. Like that's an insane get. Yeah, I've not played Persona 4. I really want to get around to it at some point. Maybe this is the version of the game that I will play. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm glad it was here. It is funny that it was kind of like almost similar to like how Hollow Knight has been kind of drip feeding information this past year, but just like here's a little tease, and then I'm sure there'll be more information down the road. But yeah, it's cool that they've come out and said it's real, and yeah, it looks great from the little glimpses we got. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
I haven't
Nothing
played
more.
it, so I'm not weighing in.
I'm surprised that we just got just that little like 15-second, 30-second trailer. Like it was not very long, but there were some glimpses in there where I was just, oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Tom Drew, your last pick, third and final headline, and then we will
Oh,
put
man.
Summer Games Fest to bed.
Man, I think we could do some like honorable mentions, just
Yeah.
listing off some cool ones that we saw. But yeah, I think I will also go with an Xbox one for my last one. So I'm equally balanced on my announcements here. I think I'm gonna go with No Ghosts at the Grand from the Xbox showcase, which was this kind of it's hard to explain, like this kind of city town planning game, but you're like in a first person perspective, um, and it's kind of just like this weird, goofy thing where you're like, you have guns that shoot like books and stuff. It's really like kind of difficult to explain, but as soon as they showed this game, I was like, I love this. This is like a perfect game for me. It reminded me of like yeah, like the city planning thing, like an Animal Crossing um or like a Stardew Valley or whatever, like, but in this
It
kind
was
of
like a house flipper sort of experience also. Like there's
yeah,
like house flipper sim or power wash sim. Like there was elements of that in there too, mixed with like weird mystery and
yeah, and musicals. Like it's a
yeah.
weird
Yeah.
musical type of game, which I don't know. I think just everything about this, it's this weird conflation of all these different genres and gameplay styles, but I think it like really works. I I don't know. It just looks really fun, and I don't think this game is coming to PlayStation. I think it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, at least for the time being. Which I'm like, God damn, this sucks because I
Gotta
really
get
want to play
yourself
it.
an ally.
That's the thing. I feel like this was a good advertisement to get an Xbox, at least for me. So, no, I just think this the art style, the whole vibe of it. Talking cat, love that.
Yeah.
I'm in love with what I was seeing from this game. It's just a shame I won't be able to play it anytime soon. Because I just bought a Switch too. So maybe down the road I'll get an Xbox Ally or something. But yeah, I'll be very curious and intently watching how this game shapes out because it looked really cool from the trailer.
This was right up there on my list as well. Just like, yeah, I think there's enough of a unique blend in there that it can kind of have something for everyone. And yeah, I love the idea of kind of like almost Simsing or Animal Crossing your village and like making it nice again. But then at the same time, there's like a mystery behind it all, like this weird supernatural things going on. There's ghosts. It's a little spooky, so it's like kind of, but not. I don't think it's spooky enough to turn me off, which is good.
Hmm.
So I'm quite excited for this, and I do have an Xbox, and I will be playing.
There was like a level of spookiness. It was like it's like a Stranger Things level of spooky, or maybe even like a level down
Yeah,
from that. It was kind of like, oh, I'm not scared. I'm like, ooh, like this is kind of creepy, like a little more fun,
yeah.
scary, not like ill from the Summer Games Fest show that we saw, where there's like
Yeah.
Oh my
weird
god.
wet baby heads rolling around.
That was easily the most horrified we've been all weekend.
Genuinely, yeah.
This game looks fantastic. It's like, as you guys have said, a very cool, unique mix of genres, it seems, with this like town sim, mystery, first person, which you don't see a lot in this kind of vibe unless you're playing like a power wash simulator or a farming sim. Like it's just such a cool blend of things into this fantastical mystery, spookiness, other dimension sort of thing going on. So I'm very, very intrigued to see if this game can like pull off all of these unique elements and mash them together into like a fun package. Okay, Lauren, your last pick of the day. Are you going Xbox as well?
No, I'm gonna go something we didn't actually watch together.
Ooh.
Because I think
Oh.
something that's cool that sometimes comes out of these like E3, like Summer Games Fest times, is like understanding like what the future of gaming might look like, and they did that at the Unreal tech demo with The Witcher 4, and of course, like just seeing a glimpse of what The Witcher 4 could be is incredibly exciting. Um, and it looks freaking amazing. I know this was a tech demo. They've said it's not exactly like what it's going to look like in engine, but it was playing with ray tracing, 60 frames per second on a base PS5 using an Unreal Engine 5, and it looks unbelievable. The closest I can think of something coming to this is probably like Horizon, in like the level of detail and like beauty in the world. And it's so exciting to see that they're going to bring this to like open world games, with this level of like fidelity and detail. And there was like not too much, I think, to learn from about The Witcher itself, except of course, we're following Ciri, and we got to see her like take on a contract and interact with some of the other characters and walk through these areas that you're going to be able to experience in the game. Um, and I'm just like so excited. Like I have to admit, like I was slow to The Witcher 3 and I still haven't finished all of it because it's such a large game and I just like don't have 100 hours to spare. But this is one where I'm like, oh, I definitely am going to go all in on this one thanks to this demo.
For me, it wasn't even like the fidelity of it, it was the interactivity that they were showing. Like they talk about the like chain of events you can see as you're walking through this plaza, and your Siri accidentally bumps into this little boy who, or this person who's carrying all these apples, and then somebody notices that and runs up and takes advantage of the situation and picks up the apples, and pigs follow and they eat the apples. And like I've seen pretty games look pretty. I think that we're kind of getting to a point now, especially with the idea of Unreal Engine 5 being out there, that I don't know how much better they can look, but it's things like that where it's like, okay, this feels like a living, breathing place, that not just because I'm the player walking through this are these things happening, that these things would happen whether I'm there or not. I will preempt all that by saying, like, I'll add a caveat. I've been fooled before by CD Projekt Red. Like Cyberpunk had stuff like this. I can remember vividly years before that game came out. So we'll wait and see there. I think they have learned their lesson. I hope they've learned their lesson because this looked insane. I put it up on the big screen after I watched it here on my computer because I just needed to be like, video games like how does this look this good?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think like they were kind of very particular in how they were like talking about this and saying like this is a tech demo, it's not like full gameplay. So I guess to set expectations. That said, it does look like it looks amazing. Like if the game is anything close to this, like I think it's going to be amazing. Um, just like even like the animations they're talking about with like Siri and her horse, like was just super
The horse
impressive.
muscles.
How, like, yeah, like I never like I didn't expect to see like the kind of musculature of a horse, but it like it makes it look amazing in the final product. So yeah, I do want to like temper my expectations. I hope like if they are this they're saying like you know how ambitious they want to go with this game. If that's true, like I do hope that they kind of you know take their time with it and like you know really go and you know if they want it to like be this good across the board, like yeah, we would like we don't really want another Cyberpunk launch situation. I'm sure like there's obviously going to be bugs or whatever and stuff, but like I just want CD Projekt Red to like take their time. Yeah, just like the glimpses of even just the small glimpses of Siri as a character that you do get in this little thing. I thought like I was bored in. I was like I hope this game comes out tomorrow, but again, take your time. We can wait. It'll be amazing when it gets here. So
Okay, the last headline, my third one. There's a lot on the board, so we're gonna have to do some like honorable mentions after this. I think that I'm gonna leave some of the maybe the bigger announcements for these honorable mentions, because there was an announcement that happened during the Xbox showcase that was so specifically tuned to me as a human being that I can't not put it on my list. And that is, guys, I can play as Michelangelo in Tony Hawk. And that's awesome. They brought out Tony Hawk, one of the few people we saw during the Xbox showcase, and he was like, I can't believe, I'm so excited you guys are excited. The new demo that you can play right now is available, or the new demo is available right now. You can go play it if you pre-ordered the game. I have played it. I had an hour between the Xbox showcase and here now, and it rocks. It's so good. I was wondering how it would feel going from one developer to another with this, because it's not Vicarious Visions this time. It is Iron Galaxy. It feels like no one skipped a beat. It feels perfect. It feels amazing. So I'm gets me even more excited to play this game. But the fact that I can play as Michelangelo, it's perfect. Like that's a match made in heaven to me. Seeing the Ninja Turtles skating around the Tony Hawk world, it's just, it's great. I'm excited we're finally doing some exciting secret characters in the Tony Hawk games, because the last one, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2, there were secret characters to unlock, like a skeleton, and you could be like a cop. But the best part of the older games was like unlocking Iron Man in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, or like playing as Spider-Man in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. So being a Ninja Turtle or being Doom Guy, that's pretty awesome. Like that's sick.
yeah, I when Mikey showed up, I was like, oh my god, he looks amazing, especially because he's in the Mutant Mayhem art style. It reminded me of like the Spider-Verse skins in Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2. Like they just nailed the art style so well. I hope that. Do you think it's just gonna be Mikey? Do you think the other titles are gonna be there as well? Or
Right now, it just says, from like all the information I was looking at, it just says Michelangelo,
okay, I mean that is fine.
which kind of sucks because like I love Michelangelo. He is the party dude. I'm a Donatello fan.
Yeah,
He's the brains of the operation.
yeah,
But I'll take Michelangelo.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a Leo guy, so I'm like, oh, I wish he was in the game. But
You
like, yeah,
are. You're
Mike.
the leader of the podcast.
I mean, I guess I'll take that that responsibility. But no, I think it's just so cool, and like I really, I'm just kind of itching to play a skating game. I don't know why. Like I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake on my PlayStation Plus, like ready to go. I just need to like download it and like play it because I feel like just vibing around skateboarding would be so much fun, and I want to get ready for when 3 and 4 probably comes out because it's undeniable. Doomguy and Mikey, like, come on, that's amazing. It's incredible.
I was playing as Doom Guy today, and it's a lot of fun. July 11th, the full game comes out. So I was debating, what do I do? Do I get it on PlayStation? Do I get it on my Switch 2 for when it comes? But it's on the PS5. It looks incredible. Lauren, you strike me as a Raphael kind of
No.
person. No?
No, Leo all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 Leos.
Yeah, this does look really fun. I mean, we've seen it before and it looked fun then too. Is this a day one on Game Pass as well?
Yep.
Well, then I can play it. That does entice me because it's like I don't necessarily want to put all my money behind it in case I don't like it, but I do like the idea of just like being able to jump in for a few rounds. Who is the dream character crossover apart from now we've had the turtles?
Ooh.
Damn. You put me on the spot.
Spyro.
Spyro on the skateboard would be
Oh my
sick.
god, yeah.
That is
that
the
is
only
so
correct
cool.
answer.
I'm gonna say Batman.
Batman on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
We've seen the other superheroes do it, but Batman I don't think has.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with a deep cut. I'm gonna say Jake Long from American Dragon,
Ooh,
the
nice.
cartoon.
Damn.
I think that would be
Okay.
sick. I think that would
He
go
skates,
hard,
doesn't he?
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
cool
would
when they're
fit.
like actual skateboarding characters as well.
Yeah, throw him in there.
Doom
That's a
Guy,
great
when are you
carpenter.
skateboarding? Come on.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one after Doom, Dark Ages. He's
I
just
hope
gonna
so.
have
That
his
would be so fun having like a hoverboard or something.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
He's got the hoverboard in the game, and it's weird because you don't hear the wheels on the ground. We're so used to hearing like when you're on the
Right.
rail or like you hear the wheels on the cement, and he's just hovering. It's completely silent, and it's a little odd.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
like
weird.
breathing and making noise. Like it's weird. It is kind of cool that he's there, but it's a little uncomfortable. But yeah, he's in the demo right now. You can play as him, you can play as Tony Hawk, and you can play as there's one other skater in there, and they have 2 levels. And I've only played an hour of it, but I'm ready to lose my summer to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. But those are our headlines. We've drafted them all. Let's go through some quick honorable mentions. I'm surprised nobody brought up, because in the Xbox showcase, this I think was the highlight for some of us. Clockwork Revolution gameplay finally got it, and it looks so Bioshock.
This was definitely like if I didn't pick Witcher, this was gonna be my thing. The only thing is that it wasn't like there was still no release date, and it was kind of just like more of the same. Like I got a better idea of what the game's gonna be, but I was like already in when from the first trailer. So I just kind of wanted like some kind of realistic update on what's happening.
Yeah, still it was a coming at some point or whatever they
In
said.
due time.
In due time. So it's still a ways away. Other things I'll quickly shout out, got Double Fine's next game, which I'm very excited about. It looks so Double Fine, which is going to be great. Other than that, Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. I'll shout that out because that's been rumored for so long. We're finally going to get a Wu-Tang Clan RPG. It looks awesome. So I've heard a lot of interviews going around. That team is talking a lot at SGF, and I'm there for it.
Yeah, I never would have expected that to come out. Like, it just looks cool. It looks so sick. Yeah, in terms of like honorable mentions for me, I think that Invincible game. I know I'm trying to get another fighting game, but like, I did not think we were gonna get an Invincible fighting game. But I love the art style. I'm kind of glad that we're I guess Street Fighter 6 is kind of a realistic art style, but it's still kind of stylized. But I'm glad these fighting games are going back to like these just super high, like hyper stylized art styles, and the one they're using for this game looks incredible. Also, Stranger Than Heaven, which is coming from the Yakuza devs. Just the whole vibe of it looks so cool. It makes me kind of feel guilty that I've not played like a Yakuza game. I know that's not like the same thing, but it's from the same studio. But just loving the look of that. And then the other one I'll shout out is Into the Unwell, which is another one from the Summer Games
Oh
Fest
yeah.
showcase, which was kind of like this. It reminded me like Conker's Bad Fur Day, where it's just like this down on his luck drunk who's kind of thrust into this like crazy weird world.
Down
with
on
this,
his luck drunk like Disney animated character, by the way.
Yeah.
Like it looked like he looked like a melting Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, like a little weird cat guy. And it just looks so zany with like weird worlds and creatures, and I just love the whole vibe of that. I thought like I'm glad platformers are like back, quote unquote, in a way. And this just looked like a really unique like spin on the platform. So
Speaking of platformers,
pretty
I'm
good.
surprised no one mentioned Super Meat Boy 3D.
Yeah.
I will be there for that. I love Super Meat Boy. You bring it into like these little Astrobots kind of levels. Sure.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what they do with that and how much they ramp up the difficulty with those levels.
It'll be there. Oh yeah. If it's Meat Boy, it's gonna be incredibly hard. Lauren,
Yeah.
any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I have a few I wanna mention. I don't know if we already said Out of Words, but that looks fun.
Oh yeah.
Like a co-op
That's another
kind of
Hazelight influence sort of
Yes.
deal.
Exactly, like a stop motion-y kind of claymation co-op game. Looks really fun. There is a new Scott Pilgrim game, Scott Pilgrim X, which is kind of like an classic arcade fighter kind of style platformer. That looks really fun. I will say that Atomic Heart 2 has my attention, but I'm not sure if I will follow through in it. I need to see more, but that did grab my attention from the show. It looks very cool. I think that was the PlayStation Showcase State of
That
Play.
was Summer Games Fest.
Was Summer Game Fest. Okay. Yeah, that looked interesting. I will just say they like PlayStation State of Play did do a thing of like Ghost of Yoti, here we go, and then like actually there's going to be a full State of Play in July. So I'm annoyed that they didn't show me anything, but I am excited that there will be a State of Play dedicated to it in July. So that is exciting. And then just the last thing I'll say is there was another showcase that I haven't had a chance to watch through, but it was called the Frosty Games Fest, I think it was, and it was dedicated to Australian and New Zealand games. And there were some cool announcements out of that. I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing, but I did want to shout that out if anyone's. It was just really cool to see all the games that we have coming out of like my country, which was really great. We have some really cool things, really
Yeah,
creative
there's
teams.
a lot of showcases to go and watch. If you like only saw the big ones, there's so many cool games that you missed out on that were announced at things like the Wholesome Games Showcase. I know the Indie Games Mix did their thing. I know Double Fine does their annual Day of the Devs, which happened right after Summer Game Fest, and that's not just Double Fine projects. Like those are all cool indie things. Future Game Showcase, there's so many, so you can go and find those online. I think it was pretty good. I mean, not the best we've ever had, but going back and reliving some of these announcements, I do think that it was pretty great. I think that's going to do it for this Summer Games Fest. We can close the book and we can leave it until next year. I'm sure we'll be back talking about Jeff Keighley soon enough. Gamescom is just around the corner. So let's get out of the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us that news outro.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
That's it for Summer Games Fest, but that's not the only thing that's been happening this week. We've all been playing games, and one of us, a lucky member of the Controller Club crew, has had the privilege of playing with some new gaming hardware. The Nintendo Switch 2 is out. Tom, yours is sitting in your bedroom. Mine is in a warehouse somewhere. Pre-ordered, supposed to be coming tomorrow. It was supposed to be coming yesterday, but it got delayed because of a darn sinkhole on the highway.
Oh.
But here we are. Tom, you have played with the Nintendo Switch 2. Take it away. The floor is yours. Whatever you want to say. We will do a deeper dive into the Switch 2 in a week. We'll devote probably half of next week's episode just to the Switch 2 a week in. But you're a couple days in. You've played some Mario Kart. Maybe you've done a welcome tour or two. I don't know. How's your Switch 2 experience? How's life with the Switch 2 in the house?
Yeah, well, you said it's sitting in my bedroom. Well, specifically, it's sitting in my lap because I have it right here.
Oh my god! Don't do this.
I just if you're watching the YouTube version, you can see it. If you're listening to the audio version, go to the YouTube version. You can see it. I guess. I just wanted to
You
show
can hear
it
its
here.
greatness.
Yeah, I'm gonna you can take off the Joy-Cons. It's like a magnetic thing. Look, you can hear the clanking of the Joy-Con 2 as well. I love this thing. I love this thing so much. I know I've only had it for like 3 days, but it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll go a bit more in depth next week because I don't want to like dwell on the things too much, but I really like this thing. Obviously the big game at the moment is Mario Kart World. I put a ton of time into it. I invited some people around so we could like just figure what this game is all about, and I think this is a really worthwhile entry into the franchise. It is insane. I really like it. It feels very different to Mario Kart 8 in that not just that the fact that it's like 24 races, but I feel like the pace of the races also feels a lot different. In this one, you kind of have courses, but then you also have these kind of in between things where you're driving to the next course, and it just adds a new kind of layer to it. Some people aren't the biggest fan of it, but I quite enjoy it. I think it just adds like a lot of momentum to the races, and you're kind of a lot more bunched up in kind of your like little pack of races. So if you like get hit when you're in first place, you go back quite a lot. Like if you're in first place and get hit by one red shell, you could fall like 5, 10, 15 places sometimes because of just how fast paced and chaotic this one is, which I love. I think it just adds so much more suspense and thrill to all these races, and I think there's so much more. You have to be perfect, a lot more so in this one, which is really fun. And like the open world aspect of it, I know some people have been a bit lukewarm on it. I really like it. It's just a nice thing to vibe out to. The little challenges you find around the world are really, really fun. They can get quite challenging as well, but they're really replayable. And they're just really, you just really want to like, if I just do one more attempt, I can beat this little challenge here and there. And you unlock little costumes for the characters as well, and they're also like charming. Like Lakitu has like a kind of Japanese inspired thing where he's got like a farmer's rice farmer's hat and that sort of thing. So the cute little costumes and those little things are really cool. But in terms of like the hardware, like the big thing I wanted to try was to see how old Switch games played. So the first thing I did was I went on my Animal Crossing island because I was like, every time I boot up Animal Crossing, my island lags like no other because I have so much stuff everywhere. I'm pleased to say there is no sense of lag whatsoever. It runs like a dream, which is crazy to say. Like it's crazy to be like, oh yeah, like my Animal Crossing world can now like run perfectly. But like it does feel substantially different, which I was really pleased about. But the big one is of course Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And guys, like I know we just talked about Summer Games Fest and Xbox, and Game Freak had a game here. We didn't mention that, but Game Freak showcased a game at the Xbox showcase, Beast of Reincarnation, which looked incredible. The fact that like Game Freak can do that is kind of insane, and kind of makes me look at the like what Pokemon Scarlet and Violet can do on the Switch 2 a little bit differently, but like it feels like a different game. Like it's actually insane how much better Pokemon Scarlet like runs on the Switch 2. Like there is no lag. The game actually looks nice now. Like they kind of improved a lot of the visuals. It's less fuzzy. The resolution's a lot better. Obviously, like the FPS is locked at 60. It genuinely is like a game changer for that game, and is making me look at that game in like a completely different light. So yeah, I've just been really impressed. I don't know if you guys have any specific questions or if you want to say those for when we talk about it a bit more next week. But really loving it so far in terms of early impressions, and just can't wait to get back and play more Mario Kart after this podcast, honestly.
Yeah, I think we'll save questions till next week because you'll have had more time. I'll have had mine to add into the conversation a bit, but I'm glad you're enjoying it and I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm so sorry the sinkhole had to take your fun away from you.
It wasn't even a big sinkhole. Like there was photos of it. It's like it's like a foot like in diameter, but you can't drive on a highway that has a sinkhole going right down through it, and they're now finding that there may be faults elsewhere in the highway too. So
Oh no.
it'll get here.
I don't know how we'll get to you, Klein, ever again.
It'll be fine. There's other ways to get here other than that one road. Okay, it'll be okay. Lauren, have you been playing anything exciting over the last week?
I've been playing more Doom: The Dark Ages, which is still very fun. I'm hitting the point of it feeling a little repetitive, so I'm sure it's going to like change it up soon. Actually, I just went. Tom, how far are you?
I'm
You're
like
probably still further than me.
I'm still about halfway, like chapter 12 or 13, I think.
Okay, have you been to the forest?
I've been to a forest, so I think
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
I am right now.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So it's good. Yeah, it's quite. I think I did drop the difficulty this week because I'm just
It's tough.
losing
It's a tough
momentum.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still so super fun. Like I think I've got all the weapons in the weapon wheel now, and it's like, oh, these are really cool. So I'm enjoying that a lot. I also played some Helldivers too this week. Just jumping back in. I missed the battle for Super Earth, which I was quite annoyed about. But they've done quite a significant update to it. Which is like it hasn't changed the entire game, but it's changed some things for the better. So it feels nice to go back and play that one as well, which I do still play it quite regularly, but missed the Super Earth battle unfortunately, but it is
So
very
you can't
fun.
get to Super Earth at all now? Like it's
No, it was
gone?
just like a limited time because the Illuminate were
Oh,
attacking. You have to get
Oh.
in
I
on
thought it was
time,
a
like
new
when
map.
you're
I thought it
called.
was like a new level.
Well, it'll probably come back, but it's just like
Yeah.
it's part of the world building, you know.
That sucks. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
But
It's like you can't play the
okay.
Illuminate right now because they've disappeared mysteriously. Who knows where they'll
Ooh.
appear next?
Joel,
Right.
the game master, is still just up to his no good tricks over there at Arrowhead Games. The only thing I've been playing is something I can't really talk about. I'm playing Ruffy in the Riverside. I can say that. I'll have more thoughts later in the month. That's about all I can say to that. And I'm waiting for my Switch 2. My Switch 2 GameCube controller is right. If you're watching on YouTube, right there. And that's all I got. I also have my case, but I'm waiting for the console. I can't wait. I'm just, oh my gosh, it's gonna feel like adult Christmas when I get to open that thing. But that's basically it. You can let us know what you've been playing over on social media. That's also where you can check out our new Game Plus Video Game Book Club Game of the Month, which we are playing Sly 2 Band of Thieves. Has anyone started Sly 2? Lauren, you have the Sly shirt on. So have
I
you
do.
started it?
I finished it ages ago.
Oh, okay. Tom?
It's downloaded. I have not had a chance to
I will
start
warn
because
you
of
a little longer than Sly 1. It's like
yeah. So
12
I'm
hours
preparing for that. I'm
is
preparing
as
for that.
opposed to like 6 or 8. So yeah, I
Have
think
you been playing it, Klein, after your adventure last
I've
week?
continued. I can only take it in doses. I'm fine for like an hour. And I might actually be getting used to it. So like I think I'm exposure therapying myself a little bit here because I have like yesterday I went like 2 hours and when I
Okay,
finished I was okay. So I
that's not
think I'm
bad.
like halfway done right now.
Okay.
Good game. I'm enjoying myself, but we'll talk about that later in the month. As well as always, you can follow the show at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky, at Controller_Club on Twitter, and at Controller.club on TikTok. Also, you can watch the show on YouTube. If you're listening to us, you can see our beautiful faces as well as hear our voices over on YouTube. Please like and subscribe when you get over there. If you are watching on YouTube, leave us a comment and you get featured in Comment Corner, Tom's segment of the show where he brings up any comments we got in the week. Did we get anything exciting this week? I know our boy Ryan Cortero is out here holding up. He is representing Controller Club Army. But yeah, do we have not Controller Club, a Comment Corner this week?
We do, and it is from Ryan again. This week, let me just get the comment right up here. It was on our last episode, our predictions for the Summer Games Fest showcase. So I'll read out Ryan Quatero's comment here about what he thought was going to happen this weekend. And he says, I was going into the state of play thinking we'd finally get a pulse check on Marvel's Wolverine, but I'm happy with the 007 first light footage so far. As for Summer Games Fest, my bold prediction is something Kingdom Hearts 4 related clown emoji. Didn't get that, unfortunately.
Clown
Hey,
indeed.
the
But
direct could still happen.
it could, and you know what? That would be insane if they were like, "Yep, Kingdom Hearts 4 coming to Switch 2." So you know, hope isn't lost yet. I'll say that. But thank you for the comment. Yeah, that's the only thing we got for Comic Con this week.
If you want to leave us a comment, you totally can. Spotify has a comment section, YouTube has a comment section, and this week I want to ask, what's the best thing you saw at Summer Games Fest? What would be number one, pick one on your Summer Games Fest headlines draft? Because there was some great stuff shown that maybe we didn't talk about, or something we did talk about that you also want to shout out as well. Please also rate, review us wherever you're listening on podcast servers around the globe. It really helps us out in the never-ending fight with the algorithm. It sucks. The algorithm sucks, guys. It's the worst. Anyways, Tom, where can people keep up with you if they want to find your stuff that might not service the top of the algorithm?
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Duart, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, wherever basically. I haven't posted anything recently other than the box that I got the Switch 2 in. But I've been taking a lot of photos in like photo mode in Mario Kart World specifically, and some like just gameplay clips as I've been playing some of these different games. I'll probably throw them up there on social media at some point. So if you want to see that, check out Tom Duart.
Lauren, where can people keep up with you and all the amazing work that you are doing here and elsewhere?
You can follow me at lrouse19 on the socials, mainly Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok. I haven't posted much this week just because everything I've been doing has been with you guys. It's on this podcast. We've done 3 live streams this week and a podcast. It's been very, very busy, but yeah, thanks to everyone who watched us on the live stream. We did have some regulars come and comment and watch with us, which was really nice. And yeah, we'll have more to come. We've got another July State of Play, it sounds like, maybe a Nintendo Direct, Gamescom. So we'll be doing more of those, and it'll be great to have more people come through.
I will say, round of applause to us. Our first Summer Games Fest doing like full-on live streaming video content. So that's exciting. So please, if you haven't checked out our live reactions to any of the showcases, you can go over to our YouTube channel and find those. You can keep up with me everywhere. I'm at the Kleinfelt, TheKleinFelt, writing for the Direct each and every week, just like Lauren, just like Tom, hanging out over there, as well as doing this show. So please check us out. Say hi. It's a very busy time of the year that we're getting into with video games, movies, everything. So we will be very busy on our social channels over the next little bit. That's going to wrap it up for this Summer Game Fest, very special episode of Controller Club. As always, thank you so much for listening. Now, let's get gaming.